This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by Pawn Shops. Great for chess players, bad for pawns. It's Thursday. Nope. It's Tuesday, November 7th. I completely messed that one up, Chris.
It's Tuesday. It's all right.
Tuesday, November 7th, the day of great forgiveness for saying the wrong day.
That's what it's always known for.
Well, I'm Aaron. I know who I am, and that's my buddy Chris over there.
I'm Chris Day.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to welcome you back to this hot mess we call Another Great Day podcast. Thanks for being here. Hope you're enjoying your day thus far. Chris, I'm not going to ask you how you are because you don't like that. So I'm just going to give you a compliment.
Oh, what?
I like your beard. Good job. You've got a nice
Aaron,
beard.
How are you today?
Oh, thanks for asking, Chris. Wow. I'm honored. I'm great. I'm really looking forward to this show that we have for everybody today. I'm really excited for this cold weather that we have going on right now. I'm loving it. It's great. It's a nice change from the 90 degrees it was 3 days ago.
It's
40 degrees now.
I will say that this is recorded a week or so ago, and it may not be that temperature at that point in time.
Yes.
The weather
Good point.
changes from day to day.
Well, you know, it's hot or it's cold or it's perfect. You choose.
We're as accurate as the weatherman. Okay. So,
well, speaking of weatherman.
And now it's time for the word of the day.
Word of the day. What do you say?
All right. The word of the day today is cacophony.
What?
That's right. Cacophony.
Cacophony.
Phony of cacophony. Phone is sound. Phony.
That's right. That's
like you hold up a cell phone. Cacophony. So what do you think from that
combination?
Cacophony. Phony. What do you think it means? Just a wild guess.
It means a bunch of stuff all at the same time.
So it is a bunch of sounds all at once.
Really?
That's what cacophony means.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Here's some examples.
Cool.
In a bustling city, you might hear construction working or cars honking their horns and people walking and laughing and music playing. And that would be a cacophony of sound.
I like that. Could you have a cacophony of flavors?
It's generally sound.
Yeah, you're right. Okay,
but you could use it that way in writing, and it would work.
Wow.
Another very common one for students in school is the cafeteria.
Oh,
cafeteria is normally very loud.
Yes, that's true.
Very cacophonous.
You got loud people. You got food trays clanking, silverware.
You might walk in on that white tiled floor and say, "What is all this cacophony?"
This is a cacophony of
sounds and sound. Yes,
I don't know. That's an interesting word.
Cacophony is often the reason why there are some people, little kids that I know that have to have the whole cafeteria quiet because the cacophony got too loud.
Oh, it's overwhelming.
Yes.
Interesting.
Above the threshold that is appropriate for the school.
Hey, I get that. Everybody gets intense sometimes. So, well, that was a nice word. Cacophony. Today's word of the day. Thank you, Chris. Well, that'll bring us to this day in history. All right, well, on November 7th, 1944, Franklin Delano Roosevelt is elected to an unprecedented fourth term in office. Did you know that? He's the only president to have served more than 2 terms.
And then after that, they wrote a law.
They said, never again.
Yeah, they said that they would, before this time, it was an understood rule that people wouldn't run for more than 2 terms, just because it was the precedent. Another word.
Yeah, not president, but precedent.
It's the general tradition.
Isn't that interesting?
That they would all the presidents agreed to themselves and to each other that they would only do it for 2 terms.
So is this considered presidential squatting? Like he just didn't leave? Squatters'
I don't
rights.
know. No, well,
I'm just
it was
kidding.
a
No.
tough situation. There
Yeah,
was
World
a
War II
depression
was
and a war,
happening.
and so
Yeah, absolutely.
circumstances were not great. But after
Indeed.
this, they decided that they would make an actual law and not rely on us all saying we're going to do a thing called precedent.
Mhm.
But they said we're going to make a rule.
Yeah, this is
You
now a rule.
cannot have more than 2 terms.
Yep, and you have to turn the TV off at 11 o'clock. Another rule.
And then you have to ask, where are your children?
Well, that'll do it for this day in history. Thanks, Chris. Today's question of the day. This is the part of our show where we like to ask a question. And actually, the entire nucleus of the show originally was to have a question that you could discuss amongst the people around you. And so we're going to ask a question, and you can answer it in your head, or you can discuss it with the folks around you. Here we go. Would you rather be really tall or really strong?
I have an answer to this because I have questions about the question.
Yeah, ask, please.
I think it would be, I would like to be tall
Okay. You are tall.
because the question is extremely vague,
Oh, yeah.
which I love it. I
Open
love
to
vague
interpretations.
questions because then we have to talk about how the question, what it means, how the question goes. Because it just says really tall, and I can imagine that I'm as tall as as space. I
Like-
could just be like
You're 1,000
4 light years
million
tall,
zillion feet tall.
and I could visit the next solar system just
You're
because I'm
walking
like,
on planets.
yeah, exactly. I could,
Swimming in the space.
but the only problem would be that if I was that tall, I'd have to eat food.
You're like Galactus. You'd have to eat
I'd
planets.
have to eat whole planets.
Or a star.
They'd be like Skittles,
Wow.
planet Skittles.
Just look up in the sky and see Chris.
Hey, what's Chris
in
doing out there?
He's next to the moon.
Just my foot,
Chris,
just kicking the moon like a soccer
you're
ball.
making a mess. You're disrupting the orbit of Earth.
I'll be back in a light year.
That's amazing. Oh, man. Yeah, so you could be as tall as you want.
So what I was thinking, there's a Shel Silverstein poem about a long limousine. Have you seen this
No,
poem?
never
I
heard
don't
of
remember
it.
the exact words, but it's basically, it's so long that when you get in, you're already there.
What?
It's a silly,
That's
obviously a silly
fun.
poem.
I like that. She's so good, or he's so good.
Is a guy,
Yeah, sorry.
And that's what I'm imagining. If I'm that tall, I'm already at the place
Oh
'cause
my
I'm so tall.
Easy
Okay.
commute.
Here's another thing. When you were a kid, as you grew up, did you ever lay in your bed, like on your back, look down at your feet and think, my feet are so far away from my head?
No.
Did you?
Never.
I did. I sometimes to this day I'll just look down way down at my feet and be like, they're so far away from me.
No, I've never done that.
And
But
I-
I'm quite short. My feet are close to me.
And then I also think about I have hung off of roofs as a kid
Uh-huh.
to get off the roof
hmm
because I was on the roof for some reason and it's not very safe. to
We
do this.
don't advise this.
No, but the same thing with tall diving boards. If you hang off, I then become that much closer to the ground.
100%.
So
100%.
my fall is no longer 10 feet or whatever.
Yeah, it's only.
But if I'm
5
5 feet and my arms are 2 feet, I'm only like 3 feet off the ground.
You're so close.
And I could just let go and I'm already there.
I mean, if you-
Anyway,
wow.
I think about the spatial length of my body, I guess, more than other people. I don't know.
Well, if you think about the spatial length of your body, let us know in the poll below.
Well, okay, so what would you be, strong or tall?
I would be strong just because I think it would be really fun if you were really tall and I was really strong and I could like throw you.
All the way to space.
Yeah, like it'd be great. I could throw rocks and help people move really easily. So, yeah, I'd be super strong. I'd be the strongest man ever.
It's true. You could be
If
the
you're gonna be the
strongest
tallest
Avenger.
man. Oh, strongest Avenger. Take that, Wes. All right. Well, that'll do it for this day in history. I'm sorry. That'll do it for the question of the day.
The
Boy,
question
I'm
of
all
the
over
day.
the place today.
That's
Chris.
all right.
Is it still Thursday? No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, let's take a quick break and check in with none other than Dr. Dad Jokes himself, Wes McFall.
Guys, hey, how do you make an egg roll? You push it. Have another great day.
I'd say that was a very moving joke. Good job, Wes.
That was it.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to land the plane in the show with some wisdom. Today's word of wisdom comes to us from Proverbs chapter 25, verse 8. One single verse.
Verse 8. Just because you've seen something, don't be in a hurry to go to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor deals you a shameful defeat?
Wow. Do not rush out to argue your case before magistrates or judges. Otherwise, what will you do in the end when your case is lost and when your neighbor or opponent humiliates you? Wow, don't be hasty. Yesterday's was be humble. Today's Treebeard, don't be hasty.
Oh, the end?
That's it, the end from Lord of the Rings.
This is the end.
Yeah. Well, we're here doing our thing. We're glad you joined us. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Thank you for liking and sharing this show with your friends. And thanks for coming back.
And I'm trying to do the soundboard.
It's okay. I got your back. Ready?
Quieter.
Here we go.
There it goes.
We thank you for listening, and we hope you make it
Another
great
day.
Woo!